Just Seen It is brought to you by the original Farmers Market at 3rd and Fairfax. For more information, visit farmersmarketla.com. Just Seen It is brought to you by Short Order and Shortcake, located in the original Farmers Market at the corner of 3rd and Fairfax. On this episode of Just Seen It, we review the new Fox sitcom, Ben and Kate.
I just got really hot all of a sudden.
Kate, you butt dialed me.
Oh my God, my shirt I think is stuck to my sweater.
What is happening?
Can you see my boobs?
Ew!
It's supposed to be a comedy, and here we have my two favorite stock characters, the wild, doofusy sort of Joey from Friends guy.
NBC's new comedy, Animal Practice.
I'm glad to hear things are running so smoothly.
And he rides around in a little tiny ambulance. And I'm telling you, that's just funny.
It was
That's
fun.
comedy.
It was fun.
ABC supernatural drama, 666 Park Avenue.
Jane, nice to meet you. Just stop by for drinks sometime.
It's a friendly building.
Though I know that it's more of a writer's medium, is also pushing in that direction.
And CBS's new sitcom, Partners.
Oh, he's in a good mood. He came in early and he just started working. Why? What'd you do?
I at least kind of had a sigh of relief because I thought they did make one good decision.
And give you our download pick of the week, all right here on Just Seen It. Nat Faxon and Dakota Johnson star in this new Fox comedy about a responsible single mom and her troublemaking brother.
He just blows in and out of town and uses my house as a storage unit.
When Ben shows up unexpectedly in Kate's life, she braces for the worst. Kate discovers that Ben really is looking out for her.
That's a total lump.
In Ben and Kate.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Sean.
And I'm David.
And I'm Rachel, and we're here discussing Ben and Kate, the new Fox comedy. We've all just seen it. David, take it away.
Ben and Kate stars Nat Faxon as Ben and Dakota Johnson as Kate.
Academy Award winner Nat Faxon.
Academy Award winner.
Academy Award winner.
What did he win an Academy Award for?
He co-wrote the screenplay to The Descendants.
Wow.
With Alexander Payne.
Very cool.
And Dakota Johnson is the daughter of Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith.
Wow, Sean, you are just a fount of information today, aren't you?
A beacon of knowledge, sir.
But I have nothing else to say about the show.
Okay, then there you go.
So, the writing of this show,
Oh, don't get me started.
it's sad to me. It's like, why, people? This is supposed to be a comedy, and here we have my two favorite stock characters, the wild, doofusy sort of Joey from Friends guy, which is
Right.
Nat, and he comes into town, he blows in, and he's just chaotic and a mess, and oh my goodness, how are we gonna deal with him?
That's so weird. We are right in front of her house. What do you say we just hang here, like, under this tree, and we'll see how she's doing. We just totally chill.
And then we have Dakota Johnson, who is Kate, who is responsible, and she's just so charming, but she's just, she's unsure of herself, and things aren't working out for her, and she's a little awkward.
I need you to leave. What? I'm in the middle of something really important. I'm on a date. I was about to make out on the couch. I had a whole thing going in. You're screwing it up.
Here, basically, they're just writing jokes and having these characters say the jokes, and if it doesn't come from the character, it's not funny.
This is the goopiest, most generic writing I have seen. It's just like, yeah, it's every single trope you could take from a sitcom, and they've just mushed it all together in a blender and said, here's our show.
And I mean, that's not to say that some of the performers aren't funny. I look at Lucy Punch, and I think that she is funny.
But
she
she's
seems
not
like
funny in this.
Yeah, they just don't give her
Right.
anything to be funny
Yeah.
with.
What's going on here? What are you thinking about? Stop looking at my mouth. Oh. There goes the glass. Here comes the straw. Here comes 3 straws. In between my mouth. Just chewing them. Super cash, super subtle.
I really like the performances of Nat Faxon and Dakota Johnson as Ben and Kate. I think that they have good comedic timing. It's just that they're not written to as characters. And you mentioned the supporting characters. There's Lucy Punch, there's Echo Kellum, and they both play caricatures. It's like, okay, look at me, I'm gonna try to be funny now.
Well, I think it's kind of the tale of two halves. I mean, the first half of this pilot episode is just basically all jokes, and none of them work. And you know, if that doesn't work, the show's not working.
Yeah.
But then I think that in the second half of the episode, it does start to find the humanity. I start to like the characters a lot more, especially Ben and Kate. And so if there's promise...
That's very admirable of you.
Yes.
It's very admirable.
But if there's promise in the show, it's certainly with the fact that I am liking some of these characters, even if the jokes aren't working.
Well, the bottom line, guys, is that this comes down to the showrunner, Dana Fox. She doesn't have a lot of experience. I don't see a whole lot of credits in terms of her being a showrunner. And it shows up. It shows up in the writing, it shows up in the acting, and certainly in the directing, the pacing, and the structure of the pilot. And also, where can it go?
Right.
Right?
We just have these arcs of the one person is helping the other, and they're both going to grow and learn from each other. I just have no interest in watching that happen.
Maybe we should make her watch that happen. I think that could work. We could do like the Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, where they hold the eyes
Hold the eyes open and put the drops in there. And, Rachel, you must watch.
Rachel, you must watch.
But I already know what's gonna happen. I'll tell you what, for convincing acting, you know who I liked? I liked the little Ben and the little Kate. I liked watching the two little kids.
That was a really touching moment when they had that flashback to Ben and Kate as young kids.
If the show was mostly about them, I'd be totally all for it.
But that's not the show, unfortunately.
Ben and Kate, you could do better. Skip it.
Well, the jokes are not very funny, but I do like the cast, and I think the characters are enjoyable to watch, so that's a stream it.
Sean, I have to agree with you. The writing is just not there, but I do have hope for the characters. I give it a stream it as well.
Well, it looks like our votes add up to 1 ticket, which is a stream it for Ben and Kate.
Cheers.
Let's hope they don't make Ben and Kate +8.
In this new NBC comedy, Justin Kirk stars as George Coleman, a veterinarian who loves animals, but not their owners.
I'm gonna operate. If you have a problem with that the next time, don't leave your crap lying around.
He is soon horrified to discover that his ex-girlfriend Dorothy is taking over his clinic.
I know that I can improve things here.
George must decide how to do what he loves while surviving his ex-love in animal practice.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Greg.
And I'm Liz. We're here to talk about Animal Practice, the new comedy on NBC. We've all just seen it.
Yes, we have.
Aaron, what did you think?
I'm going to talk about the specifics first. It's a 30-minute, half-hour comedy, and there are 2 showrunners, Joe and Anthony Russo. They directed the pilot of Arrested Development, and they are going to direct the new Captain America movie.
It's really quite a strange premise. I mean, I am working at an animal hospital, and the woman I used to love now manages the animal hospital because her grandmother died.
And she says, yeah, my grandma who owned the hospital died, and now I'm taking it over even though I know nothing about animal hospitals. And it's a sorry excuse for the 2 of them to be together.
Ugh.
Well, you know, it kind of makes me wish that it wasn't a premise pilot that we watched, that instead of setting up this arrangement between these 2 people, we would actually see them in the middle of this arrangement.
Right, that would happen before the show even started, would have been a lot stronger decision.
So maybe now that that's out of the way, future episodes, they won't have the problem of establishing the premise. We'll just get to see the conflict of personality.
I hope so. I mean, we see a little bit of that, and then the other plot lines are very episodic and small, like...
I'm trying to find girls. Let's go to the park and see some dogs.
Or, you know,
There's a guy who wants to put his daughter's dog down.
Right.
Because the dog ate something and is in pain now. Yeah, and the dog annoys him. You know, there's small plot lines that aren't really important and that we don't really care about yet.
I love the animal humor in the show. He has a little tiny monkey-like animal. His name is Dr. Zaius, of course, from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, right.
And he rides around in a little tiny ambulance. And I'm telling you, that's just funny.
It is. It was
That's
funny.
comedy.
It was funny.
I think animal humor is the lowest of the low. It's the
Defend
lowest.
that.
It's the very lowest
Defend
of the low.
that. Why is animal humor intrinsically bad?
I just think it's boring. I think it's predictable.
If you're tired of animal humor, then don't see Animal Practice.
No, I think this is not the show for me.
One thing that bothers me, though, is when you do jokes about animals at your animal hospital, if the jokes are factually incorrect, it pulls me out of it. And so they say one of the lines is that primates don't have opposable thumbs.
God, that
But one, people are primates, and then two, a lot of primates have opposable thumbs. I mean, maybe that's a silly complaint for a show about a very serious animal hospital comedy show. I don't understand, but it bothered me. I had to say it.
If you're gonna make animal jokes, make them correct.
Yeah, and if the show's about animals, I mean, be consistent with your treatment of animals and treatment of animal knowledge.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You were interrupting. We're just inspecting the fractured femur of a St. Bernard that came in yesterday.
Oh. Well, I'm glad to hear things are running so smoothly.
Let's talk about the actors. Justin Kirk is George Coleman, the doctor.
I think he's funny, very sarcastic.
We have Joanna Garcia playing Dorothy Crane. And Joanna Garcia, I don't know why she made these choices with the performance, because she talks like a teenager, and she's clearly put there for a sexual tension.
Well, she's a woman on a sitcom. That's why they cast him. I'm not defending it.
But every scene that she's in, you could see Justin Kirk turn on this like intense eye contact, get a little too close. You know they're pushing for that. And then her character is not that interesting. And I know I already said that, she talks like a teenager.
Actually, she wasn't the original person who played Dorothy in this show. The first version of the pilot, which we did actually get to watch, had a different actress, and she was replaced for creative reasons. So now we have Joanna Garcia. And it's not fair to compare the two, but if you're watching her as a standalone performance, it's like, it's obvious that they're trying really hard to get them to have romantic tension, and maybe it is a little more obvious for us because we saw it once before, and now that they reshot it, they're really pushing for it because that's what the show's gonna be about.
So I just watched this film called The TV Set, directed by Jake Kasdan, and in it, Sigourney Weaver plays the TV executive, and she basically refers to a policy in which attractive women garner male audiences. And I think it's very transparent that that's what they did here in recasting Joanna Garcia. She's very attractive, she's very youthful, she doesn't blink, and I think there's something about that that's supposed to garner the attention of young men.
I think it's actually pretty funny, and if it focused more on the comedy and the animal hijinks,
oh, stop it.
I think it would work better. But whenever it tries to like ground us in this emotional relationship no one really cares because the rest of the episode is like animal hijinks.
Well, all the human conflicts are incredibly boring. And then it's peppered with these gimmicks. And if you don't like animal humor, then all you have are the gimmicks. The show's tone is inconsistent and it doesn't really have a heart. So I say, skip it.
If you like animals, watch it on the internet. I know I'm not gonna watch it every week, so I'm gonna give it a stream it.
Justin Kirk and the animal cast are hysterical, but the relationship stuff could use a little work. So for now, I'm gonna have to say stream it.
So it looks like our votes add up to one full ticket, which is a stream it for animal practice.
Cheers.
To the animals.
Hi, I'm Teresa. Jessina's download pick of the week is Ball Player Pelotero, a controversial documentary about baseball recruiting in the Dominican Republic. When Liz and Sean first saw this movie, they gave it a see it. So whether you buy the DVD, watch it on pay-per-view, or download it, you'll find out why Bud Selig, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, had problems with this movie. Our reviewers also gave Safe, Jason Statham's thriller, a see it, while they gave The 5-Year Engagement a skip it. You can check out our review for Ball Player Pelotero, as well as our other reviews at www.jessseenit.com.
The Drake is the most exclusive residence in Upper Manhattan.
What do you think?
I think we couldn't afford to rent a closet in this place.
Good afternoon. Owned by the mysterious Gavin Doran, he hires Jane and Henry as the building's new managers.
What happened to the previous manager?
Mr. Hartwell moved someplace warmer.
But they soon discover they may have made a deal with the devil in 666 Park Avenue.
Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Liz.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Greg.
And we're here to review the new ABC drama, 666 Park Avenue. We've all just seen it.
The show is based on a novel by the same name by Gabriella Pierce.
It's starring Rachel Taylor as Jane Van Veen and David Annabelle as Henry Martin.
Terry O'Quinn plays Gavin Duran, who is the owner of this building complex, and his wife is played by Vanessa Williams.
Vanessa Williams said in an interview that she sort of felt like they were the supernatural Bernie and Ruth Madoff, that they were going to have this big empire, but then you were going to see the dark side of how it got made.
It makes me view the show a little bit differently because I didn't know that going in, but I like viewing it through that lens a little bit more.
Well, but that just goes to show you that the show doesn't do a very good job of presenting that to you. I mean, unless I had been told that, there was no way I would have guessed, oh, it's like a Bernie Madoff situation. It's just a bunch of cliches, I felt. I felt like ABC said FX has a successful show called American Horror Story. Maybe we can make a successful horror show, but put it on a major network.
Starring Terry O'Quinn.
Starring Terry O'Quinn. So let's, hey, everybody saw Lost, let's get Terry O'Quinn, and everybody will watch this show. And because it's on ABC, it's not edgy enough. It's just very straightforward, very sanitized, and I thought kind of boring.
Home to 80 residents.
Hi, I'm Louise. Jane, nice to meet you. Should stop by for drinks sometime.
It's a friendly building.
But don't let the amenities fool you.
I disagree. I think the show does have faults, but I don't think it's the nature of the medium. I don't think that just because a show is sanitized, it can't be spooky or scary. And I don't think that the faults of the show are that it's not, like, violent or profane enough.
You look at something like American Horror Story, and yes, it has a lot of sex in it and a lot of violence, but they have a core story about a family that's being torn apart. They have interesting performances, interesting characters, nuanced plot lines, and this really has generic, boring characters and a really cool premise that isn't being milked to the extent that I would have liked.
Did my grandma's package arrive yet?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
He's so busy.
Mrs. Duran will see you now. The penthouse.
Great.
Thank you. Hope you get the job.
I just feel that it's so obvious that the Terry O'Quinn character is evil that if the two new managers who've moved in don't figure it out by the middle of the second episode, it will have crossed my suspension of disbelief.
Right.
And I think we could get so much out of Terry O'Quinn's, like, creepy looks and Terry O'Quinn smiling creepily is so much scarier if we have no clue why he's smiling creepily.
Do you think he'll turn into a smoke monster at some point?
We can hope.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of writing and casting. And I can think of one specific sequence. For example, our main character, Jane, is being wooed by one of the owners of the building, Vanessa Williams' character of Olivia, and she gets sent a red dress. And this red dress is supposed to symbolize all that she cannot afford.
Well done, my dear.
The premise is so rich. You have all of these earthly desires and supernatural desires that you can deal with, all these wants and needs, and what you have is you have a red dress. And I think that's boring.
Right.
Well, what always bothers me about these kind of Dr. Faust stories is that you sign a deal with the devil that gives him your soul, and now you've agreed to go to hell. And I don't understand why anyone would sign a contract agreeing to go to hell for any circumstances, because if there's a hell, then there's a heaven, and it seems you could forego, for example, in the pilot episode, being a great musician, for just a couple of years, knowing that when you die, you will go to heaven. Because if the devil was gonna sign a contract with you, that also implies that in the absence of the contract, you would have gone to heaven, or he wouldn't have approached you in the first place.
Well, I mean, you don't really, it's no holds barred. There could be a purgatory. There could be 15 million different rules
but
to this world.
clearly you don't have the devil. He's not gonna get your soul if he's willing to give you something for your soul.
That's true. He's willing to negotiate.
Yeah, so it always bothers me when people are like, really, you want my soul? Well, how about $10,000?
It's not right what you do. What I do is fulfill needs.
Alex Graves is a veteran of TV. I mean, he's made episodes of The West Wing and Fringe and The Newsroom, so I can't really blame everything on him. I just think he doesn't give us the chills. There's no suspense, but that's really because of the script. It doesn't provide him anything to work with. 666 Park Avenue is an address not worth visiting. Skip it.
I don't care about the characters, nor do I worry about whether their souls will be corrupted or not. For me, that's a skip it.
Terry O'Quinn, Terry O'Quinn, Terry O'Quinn. see it.
Well, it looks like our votes add up to 1 ticket, which is a stream it for 666 Park Avenue. Cheers.
To Terry O'Quinn.
To Terry O'Quinn.
I don't think we've talked about him enough yet.
Gay Lewis and Straight Joe are lifelong best friends and business partners.
I'm telling you, my gut instinct has served us very well. We have a new business because of it. I found our secretary on a subway platform because of it.
But when Joe gets engaged, his bromance with Lewis is quickly tested.
The cost of being friends with you has now officially outweighed the benefits.
The two must learn to balance their relationships and their friendship in Partners.
Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Salim.
And I'm David.
And we're here to talk about the new CBS sitcom Partners, created by Max Muchnick and David Cohen, who were behind Will and Grace. We've all just seen it.
Well, first of all, the show stars David Krumholtz, who's from Numbers, and he plays the straight guy, Joe. And it also stars Michael Urie, who plays the gay guy, and he's from Ugly Betty, and he plays Lewis.
Some of the supporting cast is Sophia Bush, who we know from One Tree Hill. She plays Allie, Joe's fiance. And then we also have Brendan Routh of Superman fame.
Superman Returns.
Ooh, Superman Returns, exactly. Who plays Wyatt, Lewis's boyfriend.
I was really excited about the show when I read the premise because I think there's a real lack of gay characters on broadcast television right now.
Isn't everyone on Glee gay?
Is it? Not everybody.
Not everybody?
Smash?
Okay.
It's not everybody, okay? So the premise of the show is that you have two best friends since childhood. One is straight, one is gay. Hilarity ensues.
That's the whole show.
That's it.
One joke. He's straight, he's gay. That's
it.
That's what we got.
Who's your wife? Alyssa Milano. Who's your wife? Bette Midler.
Obviously, when the character says that, you know, the woman that he wants to get with is Bette Midler.
Right.
Oh, okay, obviously he's gay.
Clearly, because it's either Bette Midler, Cher, or Barbra Streisand. That's the only three icons we gay guys have.
Exactly. The dialogue is hackneyed. It's witty for the gay character sometimes, but then it completely takes it away because he's selfish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not even a real character at times. He just feels like this caricature of a caricature of a caricature.
He's annoying, though. I mean, the Lewis character, he's stereotypical, he's cliche, and it's like if you're gonna fill a void because you think there's a void, why do you do a stereotype of a gay character? I mean, it's like, it feels like it's, you know, something from 30 years ago.
Right, like in the second half of the show, he does something accidental that messes up poor Joe, and he tries to redeem himself, which creates a little bit of emotional resonance, but it doesn't really stick.
No, I completely agree. I really didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about anybody. I didn't care about the relationships. I was just like, I'm done.
And don't you think that's going to be every episode?
Pretty much.
I mean, literally, it's like every episode is probably going to be Joe with his now fiance,
right?
And they have something going on. They're going to go out for a dinner or a movie or something, and then his other partner, essentially, his gay best friend, is going to screw that up and try and make amends for it. I don't see anything else that the show can do.
They're going to just be growing together and growing more annoyed with each other.
And they don't really take advantage of the premise. I mean, if the premise is there's two best friends, one gay, one straight, I mean, you're basically setting up the odd couple syndrome, right? Like, they're going to do things together that they either can't agree on or, you know, they have different attitudes towards. But that's not really where the show finds its comedy. It doesn't really find its comedy. But I mean, if there's comedy to be had, it's in that, and they don't even utilize it.
The comedy comes from the spouting of one-liners.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's all there is. It's like something out of the 70s.
Right.
Because not only do we have the gay character who is very stereotypical, who I could imagine if he was a black guy, and he'd be like, hey, brother, hey, how you doing? And it's just the same exact type of thing. But then we also have this...
Oh, the assistant who's the Latino
assistant
office
Latina
manager.
character who just comes in with this Puerto Rican accent like, hey, and just boobs just popping out. And
What'd you do?
It's bad.
Do you need the girls?
Yes, please.
Cue the Latina stereotype, you know?
Yeah, and the one-liner jokes just add right to that. I mean, it's like he's got a tattoo of Clay Aiken on his butt. Like every gay guy is gonna have a tattoo of Clay Aiken.
I know, I do.
That's your problem. You think too much. Sometimes you just gotta go with your gut.
No, that's your problem. You only go with your gut. That's why you have a tattoo of Clay Aiken on your ass.
Let's talk about Brendan Routh for a second. How far Superman has fallen.
Yeah.
he's just aggressively bad in this show, which is weird because he's actually a good actor. Yeah. You know, like this is the second gay character that he's played. He was in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
That's right.
And he was, granted, a small role, but he was great. He was funny. He's been in other movies, great in those, but it was just weak. He didn't believe the dialogue he was spouting.
No.
He looked lost on his face when he was talking.
Speaking of hearts, I gotta get back to work. I'm in the cardiac wing today. That's why I got a heart on. Wow.
Maybe after he found out that Henry Cavill is now playing Superman, he's just so angry that he just doesn't want to act anymore.
Screw it.
I'm done.
A by-the-book sitcom about a gay guy and a straight guy who are best friends. Skip it.
I'm desperate for a show with engaging, authentic gay characters, but I'm not that desperate. Skip it.
I just am on a totally different wavelength than the two of
Really?
you are.
Really?
Nah. David Krumholtz is excellent. But that's about it. Skip it. All
Okay,
right.
cheers.
Cheers, partners.
Bountiful bosoms.
Yeah.
In Hollywood land, money matters, it's true. And if a show is untested and potentially new, its Nielsen ratings may end up too low. So that's why we just remake the same exact type of show. Doctor shows are popular and have been for some time. With unthinkable medical plots and lives hanging on the line, The Mindy Project and The Mob Doctor both will try to show the busy lives of these meticulous yet vulnerable pros. Lost was a show with people stuck on an island. For viewership and awards, this show was really flying. So Last Resort's the same thing, written and produced by Sean Ryan, even shot in the same location. Hint, it's Hawaiian. All I'm saying is this season may be something that is new. Not Elementary, which is similar to Britain's Sherlock in my view. Remember, Breaking Bad won Emmys because it was creative and taboo. I sure would love to see a show that's different and original. Wouldn't you?
On this episode of Just Seen It, we wrapped up our fall pilot reviews. We gave a skip it to CBS as partners, but we gave stream it's across the board to Fox's Ben and Kate, to NBC's Animal Practice, and to ABC's 666 Park Avenue. Tune in next week when we review some of the new fall movie releases. Thanks for watching.
You know, we're pretty stereotyped here. I've just seen it too, though.
Pretty much.
One black guy.
I am very annoying.
And I'm gay.
Just Seen It is brought to you by the original Farmers Market at 3rd and Fairfax. For more information, visit farmersmarketla.com. Just Seen It is brought to you by Short Order and Shortcake, located in the original Farmers Market at the corner of 3rd and Fairfax.